Ralo wanted to give back to Young Dolph's people. So this is why he went to Mia J. He gave a donation. He went to Young Dolph Kids, and now he's trying to get involved with the Dolph Museum, the car show, and everything like that. Rallo's really trying to show everybody that he was a true friend of Young Dolph. And so as soon as he got out and he got the opportunity to make a trip down to Memphis, he did that. And so a lot of the people that worked with Young Dolph in the past, they didn't go down to Memphis. They didn't go sit down with Dolph's people and try to figure out how they could help and all this kind of stuff. So Ralo, he should deserve a round of applause and everything like that for that. But at the same time, too, Dolph got set up, and he knows that it's got to be a lot of justice to be served. And so basically, Rallo's not trying to get involved in all of the street stuff and all of this. And I know that a lot of Dolph's people that's in the streets, they slid on a lot of the Dolph suspects. This is why the people that did this to Dolph were getting dropped left and right and everything like that. Think about all the people, man. Yo Gotti's brother, Black Youngster's brother, Moneybag Yo baby mama, and you got even Govon's artist and everybody in the scenes in the background and everything like that. And so it's been an all-out war since all of this happened to Young Dolph. And so Ralo came to at least try to shed light and say, look, Dolph would have wanted to at least by now squash this whole entire thing. So he tried to talk to Yo Gotti, he tried to talk to CMG and Yo Gotti's bosses and everything like that. He called Jay-Z, and basically Yo Gotti don't want to sit down with Ralo. Yo Gotti don't want to squash the beef or anything like that because they still have this hate on Young Dolph, man. You got to remember, people were jealous, envious, and greedy of Young Dolph, and this is why they even went to set him up. And basically, there was a lot. This was on 3 different occasions that they tried to get Young Dolph, and Dolph never even tried to press charges or anything like that. And so Black Youngster even turned himself in after the 100 shots on Young Dolph. So this is how important the issue is that the fact that everybody in Memphis already knows who was doing what, who was on which side and everything. They already know because it's a small town. Everybody grew up together, and pretty much the word on the street is they all know who the suspects are. That's why people were like sliding on each other and they were catching the suspects in their hoods and all this other type of stuff, man. Ralo talked to Big Moochie Grape. He went and sat down with Young Dolph people. He wanted to make sure that all the PRE artists know that they got to keep Dolph legacy going on because Dolph was there to get them the uprise. This was his whole reason of trying to teach them this whole entire time how to make sure that they getting their money, make sure they doing this and that and staying out this trouble. You can't make all that money if you get into trouble and all that and get locked up. And so that's why Dolph was pretty much pushing and pressing Key Glock, Big Moochie Grape, Snoop Bands, and everybody, Paper Rock Woo and Kenny Money, that, hey, y'all gotta just, boom, be in the studio, get your work done and everything like that. Try not to get involved in the streets because you're gonna end up like Straight Drop. You're gonna end up like all these other people and basically the crash outs and all that stuff. That's why they sent Black Youngsters driver and everything and all these other people as the crash test dummies. You got to realize that it's not, at the end of the day, they all gonna end up getting 50 years, 25 to life and all this type of stuff. And the people who just sat back, didn't let their emotions get in the way and just listen to Young Dolph and got their money and all that, them are the people that's gonna have the last laugh, that survive and everything. Because you got to understand that in Memphis, a lot of the people, since Young Dolph was gone, a lot of the people been acting up, and it's been battles and everything on both sides of the fence. And so people are starting to understand now that, you know what, that ain't worth it, because you're gonna either end up 6 feet under or behind bars. And so this is why Dolph was pretty much not trying to beef with Yo Gotti and them, but Yo Gotti and them was trying to beef with Dolph. They both dissed each other in the songs and all that kind of stuff and replied to each other. And, you know, that kept their business coming in with the music and all that. But at the end of the day, Dolph wasn't trying to actually go and get into no type of situations where it was going to put his life on the line or anything like that. And so this is the main reason why they still just hated and was jealous and envious of Young Dolph, and that he was trying to just be the bigger person. And basically all because Dolph knew this was all over baby mama drama. This was all because Yo Gotti's baby mama was choosing and all this type of stuff. And so when it goes back to that, Dolph said it wasn't worth it to him to try to intervene and keep pushing and feeding fuel to the fire and all that type of stuff. So once Yo Gotti and them, they felt like they try to sabotage Dolph and everything like that. They try to come at Dolph and multiple times and all this type of stuff. But then at the end of the day, Dolph was just kept elevating, being more successful and all that. And so the karma pretty much worked against them, where they tried to take Dolph down, but all that did was make Dolph go up and up and up until he was the big dog, basically. In Memphis, he was the king of Memphis. That made Yo Gotti pretty much, it set him off. Once everybody was calling Young Dolph the king of Memphis, Yo Gotti was basically hypnotized by the hate. He couldn't get away from it. Everywhere he went, he seen Dolph billboards. He seen people bumping Dolph's music. He seen Dolph's camel wrap cars and all that kind of stuff. And so this was what made Yo Gotti want to set Young Dolph up. It's a sad situation, man. People got to squash their beefs and all this type of stuff because it's not worth it. You see what happened with Yo Gotti and them. Now he's facing Rico charges. Now all this and that happened. His brother got hit up and all of this. And it was all basically over a little petty situation that Dolph was trying to pretty much stay away from, but they kept pushing it and boiling over. This is why everybody got to change in Memphis. Everybody got to pretty much come together and look at, okay, Dolph was trying to bring everybody up. Yo Gotti and them was trying to tear everybody down. And you see why Memphis became a dangerous place and everything like that, because it was all basically the results of what Yo Gotti, CMG, and the whole battle between them and PRE was happening in the streets. It was a lot of other groups and other type of things that wasn't maybe not involved with Dolph and Yo Gotti, but that was pretty much where it set the energy for how Memphis was treating each other and everything like that. So people gotta come together and pretty much try to turn this whole thing around. Like, you know, be about your business, make sure you go and do the right thing, and you making sure that you were taking care of your peoples and everything like that, and make sure that you're not trying to get into no situation where you won't actually end up risking it all. At the end of the day, there's nothing Ralo could do to save Yo Gotti and them from the whole Rico indictments. They already went too far. They made a decision to try to set Dolph up. They put it into play and everything like that, and whatever happened, happened. And so now they're going to have to deal with the consequences and all that. And now Yo Gotti, he basically, this is why he had to sell CMG, and his whole entire business, his whole entire empire, he's throwing it all away, all because he wanted to get back at Young Dolph. And basically, he should have never did that. That was a big mistake for him to try to do that. And then he got his brother involved. So basically, Yo Gotti, just by him being mad at Young Dolph and all of this built up frustration from years and years of watching Young Dolph be the king of Memphis, like he put his brother on the line for that. He put all these people from CMG and all these people from Memphis. And this is why a lot of the people from Dolph's side are like, man, you know what? It was so-and-so fault and all this. They started pointing the fingers at Yo Gotti and CMG because they knew that was the people that he was beefing with. It wasn't a lot of people in Memphis that had issues with Young Dolph. Everybody knew that it was basically CMG, and that was it. And so at the end of the day, whatever happened, whoever it was that was involved, whoever the main guy is that they pick up, the main suspects, and they all basically, their plan didn't work out because they now all telling on each other and it's going down and they're taking each other down. So look at that. Before anybody, it's a lesson to everybody that basically at the end of the day, people are always just going to tell on each other. So you can't try to set nobody up and do this and do that. They can't set up Young Dolph and expect the crash test dummy dudes that did this for whatever little amount that they got, that they're not just going to tell when they get the whole book thrown at them. The judge is giving out football numbers. The judge is giving out 100 years and all this type of stuff. So when they got scared in that interrogation room and say, you know what, this is who told me to do it. This is who paid me. This is da-da-da. And they basically gave up the whole entire mastermind of the whole entire plan. And that's why they got Govan. That's why they got Yo Gotti and Yo Gotti's brother and everything like that. And so all of this, the karma came back on them, and they should have never messed with Young Dolph.